Sex, children, and angels. People say love is blind, love hurts, and there are stories about love starting wars. In my video about reincarnation, I explain how angels design life to create angels out of souls through reincarnation. If life on Earth is designed by angels, then does love serve a purpose? If angels included love, gender, children, and sexuality as part of life, then there must be an intelligent design for their existence. Similar to animal groupings discussed in the video about reincarnation, lessons about goodness must lie at the heart of love and sexuality. And goodness stems from the fact that we need other people to be happy in life. Otherwise, imagine yourself being alone for all of eternity. That sounds like hell. So should souls constantly exist, such as attached to various bodies through reincarnation, then goodness is about finding ways for everybody to coexist in equal and fair happiness. And apparently concepts like love and sexuality are part of this design to gravitate us together so we will work with each other, so we can each individualize our role and methods for coexisting with other people. As a reminder from the video about reincarnation, the goodness of this design might be muddled in modern times due to the speed of reincarnation, where the number of human births might be drawing in souls of varying quality into the human population. Without designs like reincarnation and love, then there will be no restraint to keep individuals from selfishly taking resources while heedlessly killing competitors, including your own species. Meaning there will be no motivation for you to collaborate with other human beings. Because of the design of life, love exists among animals and seems to be their meaning of life, if not their only purpose to life, to breed and multiply. And among modern humans, many people will gossip, brag, and boast about getting laid and consider sex as a measurement of being cool, and pop culture tends to be saturated with sexual references. You would think love is the meaning of life among modern humans too. This is likely because of the speed of reincarnation due to the high number of human births, such as drawing in many souls who were formerly animals, who incarnate as humans with sex still on their minds like residual habits. And combined with animalistic impulsiveness, lust is often the result, hence why sex seems to be the life focus for many modern folks, as if their animal lives continue into their present human lives to live to get laid. Since most animals are heterosexual, then it follows that the majority of human beings are heterosexual as animal souls reincarnate into human bodies. Because by design, heterosexuality serves a purpose like a stepping stone. And animal souls seem more likely to reincarnate as women first due to the apparent fact that women are inherently weaker in physical strength compared to the testosterone-infused men, as if women are provisionally trying on a human body. This relative physical weakness would mean women will have to focus on using their brains more. And human beings seem to be designed to transition from the physical expressions of the speechless animals toward using the mind to solve problems. And immortal angels might not be able to physically hurt each other and have to rely on words to solve their differences. When using their brains, I do not mean women study intellectualism. And in practice, women seem to focus their minds on social concerns, such as related to behavior, conduct, and mannerisms, often making women the enforcer of manners in modern families. And a lot of dreaming about people, such as dreaming about her wedding or what her family will be like in the future, such as how many children she wants. However, when this is abused, women can become socially manipulative and get proficient at it due to more mental practice, since women have to rely more on their mind to survive due to their relative weakness. Being newer human beings through the design of reincarnation, women would not be as familiar with human concepts like math and science, and therefore be not as rational as men, and would be inclined to be emotional instead. And the female menstrual cycle seems to be a lesson about emotions, as emotions are turned up and down by hormones on a monthly cycle, as if to show people the effects and consequences of emotions. Under an ideal pace through reincarnation, an ideal heterosexual couple will be about emotions versus rationality, such as where a woman might want to emotionally buy an item while her husband will talk about the reality of a budget. Thus, if the design is for the more experienced man to introduce the rational reality and logic, such as through math and science, to their weaker and less experienced companion, acting as a life coach on becoming more logical and realistic through heterosexual love. And such a juxtapositioning of emotions versus rationality will teach their advantages and disadvantages to heterosexual couples. However, this seems muddled in modern times since the flood of animals into the human population seems to be producing emotional men, such as where both sexes will splurge on material purchases, especially fun and non-essential items such as impulsively purchased with credit cards. And sometimes this works the other way around, where the dream of a woman might push her husband to school or some way for him to better support his family, where he will be reluctant otherwise because of his rational concern of the work and stress related to such endeavors, but driven by feminine dreams to try. Relative to reincarnation, animalism is highlighted by emotions and impulsiveness, such as because animals have no reason to restrain themselves from pursuing their needs in the wild. As a result, in humans, lust and emotions seem prevalent because of the speed of reincarnation and the flood of animal souls among humans. Then having children seems to be the next step in life, where animalistic, selfish people will think about other people, especially their children, learning to become unselfish as a result. And having children leads you to focus on the details of reality, such as while guiding your children and watching for potential threats to your fragile children. Such mindfulness on reality will mean your mind is focused on science and math and other representations of reality, hence gaining experience with rationality. And you think about life when your children ask you questions, causing you to pause and reflect about the details in order to explain them, potentially making you better as an equation of time and effort. As such, you drift from wild selfish impulses toward living for a purpose, to sustain and support your children, to have a meaning to your existence, and to work toward unselfish goals involving other people, to explore the details of reality vicariously through your children. Hopefully extending your altruistic attitude about children onto all people, therefore learning goodness as a result. And should angels live forever as immortals, trying to raise more angels out of souls, this seems like an extension of child rearing, or the other way around, where angels design child rearing to teach souls about harmony and goodness. And across time, heterosexual men will often grow tired of the emotions and drama of women, such as where modern men will share stories about their women, such as complain about how women nag them and make emotional and rational demands. When lust wears off, such as when the libido declines, women continue to focus on social dreams concerning her family, such as dreaming about grandchildren. Men might find other interests in life like sports and games and seek male friends, such as to find time away from his female companion. Across multiple lives, can you see how this could evolve into homosexuality for men, especially when lust wears off and compounded with the stress of raising children? By design, homosexuality seems to mean for souls to separate from the commitment of raising children away from being anchored down by the members of a single family. Such as after multiple lives practicing raising children as heterosexuals, homosexuals move on to interacting with adults. There are hints of this as modern homosexuals have got the spare time to focus on the arts, aesthetics, and dressing up the details of life to make it fabulous, for example. Without children of their own, homosexuals can dedicate their time to deep pursuits, which would likely be good pursuits should homosexuals be the product of experienced souls who live multiple lives as human beings. Under an ideal pace of reincarnation, the endeavors of a homosexual will not be focused on the single family unit, but be focused on humankind, if not the universe. Like an angel, and it is doubtful angels have children or would have the labor pain to produce children. Instead, angels would focus on converting the numerous existing souls into angels, and homosexuality seems to be a step towards this angelic lifestyle. Please note, due to the speed of reincarnation, modern homosexuals might be filled with lustful and emotional animal souls, like flamboyant flamers who might act like women. The lack of a meaning to life without children of their own will force homosexuals to seek social contributions as their metaphorical babies. In effect, heterosexuals are given a biological meaning of life through breeding children, while homosexuals seek their own meaning of life among humankind and the universe, becoming more like angels working with existing souls to try to produce something good. Relative to the human experience through reincarnation, I am noticing these details as a possible design for life. Sex. Learn to love and need other people for your happiness in order to learn to coexist with them. Gender. Learn the contrast between emotions and rationality. Children. Learn to be unselfish by focusing and dedicating yourself to the needs of your children. Sexuality. Practice raising goodness in your children as heterosexual, to finding meaning of life among existing people as homosexual, to working with all souls in the universe as angel. I hope this video made sense for you to find more purpose in your life. Thanks for watching.